Tony, Trenders here. I think this week we want to hear good news first, so I'm happy to say that Bandcamp, the digital music platform company, has officially banned AI music. To be more precise, on Sunday they posted an announcement on their blog stating that music wholly or in substantial part made with the help of AI is not going to be available anymore on their platform. So there won't be any more music made by like Suno or Udio or any other AI slop companies like that. But what happens if somebody, for example, downloads a song and rips the vocals through AI? Does it still count as substantially made with AI? As of now, it's more of a gray area. I hope they will clarify that. But it's still really good news and a huge step forward. I think a lot of us are happy with Bandcamp's move, especially because their goal is to create a community of artists that put love and passion into making and creating music, rather than some cash cows who see it just as a way to make a quick buck. But for me, the funniest part of it all is that Bandcamp is actively encouraging users to report tracks that are AI generated so that they can remove them from the platform. It's literally 1984, but opposite. 4891. Another huge thing that happened this week is that Anderex is going to perform a new live solo act called The Simulation. Personally, the sound design on the trailer is on point. I think I like it even more than the announcement in itself. However, the funniest part of it all is to read the AI summary on his TikTok post. In The Simulation presented by Anderex, the journey traverses through various historically significant eras, highlighting how these periods have shaped our current digital dystopia. The event at Ziggo promises to delve into these themes, making the audience reflect on the implications of such developments. Join us in this exploration date as we step into a world where epochs collide and civilizations are refined. Anderex is the new Alberto Angela.
Non merita altro che questa fine.
Memes aside, I'm super hyped to see what Anderex has cooked for us. As the weird AI summary already said, Anderex played at Ziggo in the Grand Prix event this Saturday, and apparently everyone loved his set, so I mean, that speaks for itself. I couldn't find many IDs or tracks, however I found this one snippet of a track that is a diss song, and it's pretty promising. Speaking of the Grand Prix event, I think it would only be fair to talk about it as well. We're talking about an event that a lot of people were waiting for, and it definitely met their expectations. A lot of people enjoyed the atmosphere and basically all the sets, especially Anderex's. Also, the visuals were reportedly out of this world, and I'm really happy to see how much effort they're putting into them, because at a music festival, I think it's a really key element that makes you feel at a magical place where you can just dance everything off rather than just listening to a Spotify playlist, for example. One thing that people critiqued was the fact that since it's a 10-hour event and people at hardstyle raves aren't usually famous for sitting still and not moving a muscle, there should have been a better organization in terms of food, especially considering the exorbitant prices they charged. Unfortunately, it's something that will happen at basically any event you go to. The festival inflation has always been there, but hey, at least you get some good music out of it. And speaking of good music, let's start this week once again with an anthem. The Get Wrecked anthem by BMBERJCK, Unload and Livid called Demolition Duty. The first drop is pretty good. I mean, drop. I'm talking about like the first 8 bars, the little build up, and then the rest of the drop. So yeah, it's a merge of the two. The first kick reminds me of hard techno, which isn't a bad thing in itself, especially now that those two genres are pretty similar to each other, and it's really, really powerful. The first kick of the second part of the first drop, it will take me a lot of time to say correctly every time, is really good, especially because it reminds me a lot of rawstyle from like 2018 or so. Then after that, a typical unload kick, which I think fits really, really well, especially after the first raw kick. I like it. Now, when we talk about anthems in modern hardstyle, what it usually means to me is a typical rawstyle song with nothing much more added to it, rather than just maybe a cinematic break rather than an energetic one. And the sad thing about this song is that the break here feels kind of rushed. It feels like it's here just because it needs to be here, rather than because it's good or it actually creates a lot of tension. Despite that, the melody is insane. It's a huge step up from any normal hardstyle song. It's phenomenal. Before talking about the second drop though, I would like to pivot my focus on the build-ups, because here in the song they're shorter than other hardstyle tracks, which to me feels kind of weird and counterintuitive, especially because we're talking about an anthem. I would expect them to be even longer. It gives much the feeling of, okay, yeah, let's get to the drop so you can start dancing, let's forget all the boring part. Which, I don't know, I have conflicted feelings about this. The kicks from the second drop are both made by BMBERJCK, I think, but they're both totally approved. Well, actually, I think the second one is more of a fusion between the two artists, but it's good, it's unique and really fun to hear. About the melodic drop, I have mixed feelings about it as well, because it's good, it's not bad at all, but it's also different from anything I've ever heard before, especially the first part, which feels kind of like a mix between a melodic and a non-melodic drop. The second half of the melodic drop is more traditional and more euphoric, so yeah, I like it a little bit more. I think it would have been even better if they'd put this part first and then the less melodic one right after that, but it's just my opinion. Compared to last year's anthem made by Hard Destiny and Sparks, I think I like the old one best, because its ambience and its anthem feel are way richer than this year's anthem. However, the kicks definitely win this year. 7 out of 10. Speaking of winning, every euphoric hardstyle lover won this week, because Solstice released what I can only describe as a total banger. He posted an Instagram reel a couple of weeks ago, and I remember falling in love with the melody already back then, and I couldn't wait for You Are My Storm to finally come out. It's typical Solstice style that some people may define as cheesy, but to me it feels really powerful and frankly one of the best aspects that hardstyle has to offer in general. The vocals in the break are astonishing and really harmonic. They just merge together so well. But I think one of the best parts of this song is the fake drop made with the rawstyle kick, followed by the melody drop made with the notes. Well, I don't know if it's old school, it's got a modern punch to it, but still, it's a good freaking crunchy kick, and I love it a lot. The second melody is similar to the first one, but it's a little bit slower, and it's not bad, but the first one has more of a euphoric feeling to me, and I like it even more. But in the anticlimax, which I wasn't expecting by the way, the raw kick felt too loud. It really stung my ears, and I don't know if it was just me or if it was actually a mixing issue, but it was still a pity. The second drop is pretty much just as good as the first one, so I have nothing else to say about it. It's insane. Anyways, Solstice music is really good, and I think he's one of the best hardstyle artists as of today, especially because he's able to deliver that same powerful melodic feeling while always giving it a fresh new sound. 9 out of 10. While we're talking about classic feels, I think we should mention that Angerfist released a new track called Gathering of Gods on Defcon War Records this week, and it was the opening track at the Gathering last year at Defcon. Honestly, I like it quite a lot. The melody is really characteristic of the Angerfist style, while the drop feels really powerful, so on that side of things, totally approved. Though I can only imagine what was going through the MC's mind while he was shouting all the lines in the song. Also, one thing that I'd love to talk about is the second drop, because yes, the kicks are basically up-tempo, but still really high quality and on par with Angerfist's style. It feels like it's got the potential of being a whole anthem, and yet it's stuck as being a 2-minute song. Still, I like it a lot, but since the song is just 2 minutes long, I'll keep my review short as well. Joke's on you. Quick overview on My Heart by Wasted Penguinz and Jesse Jacks because it's a good track. I like it, but I don't have much to say about it. The leads and the melody are quite characteristic of Wasted Penguinz style from like 2013 or so, and that reverse bass in the first drop is really juicy, and I love it. But if I had a nickel for every time Dirty Works release a track with a crunch kick in 2026, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, and in just 20 days. Thank you very much, Hausam, for noticing this fact. Another track I sincerely suggest you check out is 2005 by TNT, which is the 4th song that they released with a year as a name. I wonder how long they're going to go for. Anyways, super track. I really love the kick that is used in the first and the 3rd drop. But I think I love even more the kick from the 2nd drop because it has a lot of resemblances to a Frenchcore kick. I know, I produce mainly Frenchcore, I might be a little bit biased, but it still feels quite special to me. Now for the last track of the week, Beg for Mercy by Fraw and Exproz, I decided to do something a little bit different because I noticed something the first time I listened to it. It's really good and I love the ambience. But I noticed that there are a lot of drops. It's like 4 drops in 2 minutes and 40 seconds of song. So I wanted to see how much of the song was actually made of drops. And of the 160 seconds of the track, there is a whopping minute made just of drops, with 42 seconds dedicated to build-ups and 54 seconds of like ambience or melodies or well, anything else. Well, that sure sounds like a lot of drops in a 2 minute and 40 song. I'm definitely sure that the past was way more focused on melodies and the ambience than the drops, right? Well, my dear friends, I decided to take a look at one of the most classic hardstyle songs that there are out there, which is Tonight by Headhunters, Wildstyles and Noise Controllers. And what I found was really interesting. Out of the 4 minutes and 12 seconds of the song, without considering the extended intro and outro, there is just 1 minute and 37 seconds of melody and ambience and stuff like that, while there are almost 2 minutes and 10 seconds of drops. But I think the difference with modern hardstyle is that it had a way more powerful and impactful ambience to support it, especially considering how the build-ups are way shorter than modern hardstyle. They're just 25 seconds in the whole song. Oh yeah, we were talking about Pray for Mercy. Sorry, forgot. I noticed that if you take all the anticlimaxes, the non-melodic drops, and stitch them one next to each other, their length, their total length, is practically just as long as the anticlimax in Tonight. The only difference is that in this song there is a build-up every 12 seconds, which means that basically the song turns into a dance, stop moment, and it loses the groove that a whole continuous anticlimax like Tonight has. Despite everything I've said so far, I think this is a hell of a banger. The kicks are awesome, the melody drop, not bad at all, and the ambience is really good. And just as a final thing, I noticed that this song has just 1 fake drop before the melody drop, which is odd considering the modern standards, but it's not bad at all. I will definitely pick this over something like Noise Flow having like having a lot of fake drops before the real drop. Alright, thank you so much for checking this video out. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you missed last week's overview, it's right here. And I will see you next time. Ciao!